Hi there, in this tutorial we're going to start with some basic lines like this and then do this to them with the width tool. Okay, it's going to take our simple lines, add a bit of dimension to them and a little bit of sexiness. Alright, that is the width tool. Let's learn how to do that now in Adobe Illustrator. Alright, to get started, let's go to File and go to Open. And in your exercise files, okay, there is a file called Width Tool. Okay, click Open. All right, we're going to start with the kind of like leaves at the top here. I want you to kind of complete, I want another leaf down the bottom here, just show you how I drew it. Okay, so pencil tool, I'm going to have a fill of none, little stripy line, and I'm going to have a stroke of white, and I'm going to have the stroke width down to a hairline, which is 0.25. And I'm double clicking on my pencil tool to make sure the smoothing is way up, and I've turned off keep selected. Okay, click OK. So what I want to do now is just kind of click and drag, and you can see because the curving's quite up high, it's making me look a whole lot better than I am. Cool. All right, so we've got a bottom leaf now. What I want to do is do what we did at the intro there and have those lovely lines. Okay, and the trick with it is to get started with the black arrow, it's best to select all the lines and make sure it's really thin. Okay, so the stroke weight needs to be at either 0.25 or less. Okay, yeah, it needs to be quite thin to get started. Next thing I'm going to do is deselect in the background, and we're going to grab the width tool. It's this guy there. Looks like a kind of a bow and arrow. Click on it, okay, and this magic tool, okay, if I zoom in a little bit, okay, it means I can grab any point on this line, okay, and click, hold, and drag. If it doesn't, and it kind of just goes nowhere, you're dragging the wrong way. Give it a wiggle. Okay, and you can see here, beautiful. If you've ever tried to do that before with a pen tool, okay, and you try and draw one line and then the other side, I love the width tool. So cool, huh? Select on this line. I didn't really select on it. Just grab my width tool and just start pulling them out wherever you feel like you should. Okay, I'm just going to work my way around this one. It's amazing you can transform something quite simple. Okay, got the smoothing on to make it look a little nicer, but yeah, just kind of giving it some fullness. Here we go. Now you can do more than one point on a line, and I'll show you how to do that in this next part. Okay, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy enough with it. Okay, I imagined it better, but anyway, down here, okay, I've got a path that I've drawn, and what we're going to do is with the width tool, we're going to end up with multiple kind of widths on it. So I'm going to start with one about here. Okay, and you can see it's kind of working its way all the way around, okay, from thickest here all the way to thin at the two ends. Now, that's fine, okay, if that's the look you're looking for. But what I'd like to do is I want it to get kind of skinnier along the top here. So watch this, I can click out another line. Okay, I click the wrong way, click and drag up. Okay, I can make it thicker up here, which is cool, but actually I just want to make it thinner. So I'm just dragging this little point to make it quite thin. And then I got this kind of like bulge there, thins there, and then maybe across the middle here, I'm going to drag out a nice thick one. You can start to get these kind of like cool interplays of thick and thin. Okay, maybe down here I want it to be nice and thin, but over here I want it to give a nice little kind of like whippy tail thing there. You get what I mean, right? So I'm going to drag this nice and big. But potentially I want it to get a lot smaller through here and then get nice and big again at the end here. Cool. Another thing you can do is you can slide these. So say that they're in the wrong point, this guy here, you can click on him and just drag him around. You can see, you can kind of wiggle his way all the way around. You can't go past that guy that I've already got there, but you can drag these along. There's another one. You can see it's kind of moving and adjusting. You can also hold down the shift key. Okay, and drag one side, not the shift key, hold down the option key, okay, and you can drag one side at a time. So it's option on a Mac or alt on a PC, okay, and just grab any of these either side, doesn't really matter, okay, you can just do one side rather than both. Cool. Now we've used the pencil tool quite a bit now to get our curves. We're going to go back to the curvature tool because I guess this is a font and I guess I want a little bit more preciseness to it, okay, rather than really hand-drawn stuff. So I'm going to grab the curvature tool, and before I start drawing, I'm just going to make sure I've got no fill and I've got a stroke. And in terms of the stroke width, I'm going to pick just 1 point for the moment, okay, and it can be hard to know with the curvature tool how many points you need. It's a little bit of trial and error, right? So if I click once and twice, I get a straight line, and it's obviously not going to be enough. Okay, so if I click once and maybe a third, okay, so just 3 of them, you can see it's just got a bend in the middle. It's not what I want. So what I do want is there's two curves. There's one going this way and one going that way. So one there, okay, at the tippy top, kind of one halfway through at the apex of this curve. It's a very slight one, so I'm gonna click once. And then one kind of at the apex of this one. And then it's gonna come out here, click once. Now I'll get a kind of a nicer line. Now it wants to continue on. I can grab the black arrow, just click off in the background. Now, if I grab my width tool now, select on this width tool, it's gonna work to a degree. Okay, well, it's gonna work nicely. But what you'll see here is, if I zoom in on the end here, you can see I get this kind of like stubby end to it. Okay, it's because I didn't change my stroke width before I started drawing. So I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna undo actually. So before I use my width tool, I'm gonna just make sure the stroke is quite thin. You can't have 0, but you can have like 0.05, something super thin. Okay, I'm using black as well as my fill. Now if I grab my width tool, okay, and I don't know how many points I need. I might need 2. I want one there to kind of get the top bit, and maybe one more for a fuller middle. It's not what I want. I'm just gonna do one in the middle. Come on, Dan. If it's not quite right, I'm gonna drag it down. Yeah. Okay, remember this is drawing, it's not meant to be perfect. Okay, it was just kind of a hand-drawn, get it going one. So the other thing I might do is that there's this like little white whip in the middle there. Okay, so it's a little bit hard when there's something already there. Okay, so if I grab my, say, curvature tool now, it wants to join up and wants to do things. So black arrow, I'm just gonna click and grab the center and just kind of move it off. And we'll get back, we'll move them back in a second. Now, curvature tool or pencil tool, I probably want the pencil tool for this one. Or a pencil tool, I just want kind of like a curve out of here. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Okay, and I'm gonna make it a stroke color of white. Okay, and now I'll move this back in. And because I drew it after this black line, it should be on top. Cool, so I'm gonna kind of move it into position. Using my arrow keys just to kind of tap it down, something like that. Might rotate it around a little bit. Now I'm messing about. Okay, you got the idea of what we're doing here. I'm gonna turn the stroke down to 0.05. Okay, and I'm gonna grab my width tool and I'm going to drag this out. It's a little bit hard because there's lots of things fighting for the width tool attention. So I might go something like that, drag it down a little bit. How do I like it? Yeah, I like it enough. Okay, so what I want you to do is, your task is to go through and finish this. Okay, so I'd like you to go through and do this part. Okay, one thing when you are drawing this part down the bottom here, let me have a quick little look with the curvature tool, is that if I draw one, and come back here, it really wants to join up to that existing one. So you've got to make sure when you're coming to this end point is just to stay away. Okay, and you can fix that up afterwards, move with a white arrow. Okay, and you can drag it in afterwards. It won't kind of join up after it's been drawn. Okay, and start with that. Okay, all of these lines here, the one little hint, I've practiced this already. Okay, I've taught this a few times. So let's go and change it back to black. The one thing that can catch people out is this O, and I only learned it through practice as well. Okay, how many points does it need? It looks like it needs about 4. Okay, turns out it works out nicely. Click once, click twice, click again, click again. You get this kind of like boxy circle, and it's kind of close to what we want. That was a bit quick, but yeah, with the width tool, you can move these and adjust them, and see if you can give it a go. Give the V a go, the E a go, then do all these like little extra bits, and go through, color it. I'd love to see how you get it. Like, I've never actually gone through and completed it fully myself. I'd love to see what other people do with it. I know it's not the best font, but I'd love to see, your interpretation. You can totally adjust it and make it as you want, but I'd like to see it as a project. So screenshot it and send it to me. That'd be awesome. All right, that is it for the width tool. It's pretty cool, huh? Makes drawing those kind of sexy lines super easy. I love it. Thank you, Illustrator. All right, on to the next video.